ride, a little bit high on the feeling. Can't seem to focus. In the corner of my best friend's heart, something about you feels so special. Pretty up from the minute that I met you.
And I was been telling people a lot lately that, Black people are from the future, but I always say like Black and brown people, we are from the future. Like, and I am saying that we are from the future. You go to and look at those Mayan temples. How do you think we built that in the future? Like that is like amazing.
Yeah.
You go and you look at what Say said the Pacific Islanders have did, the navigation, the astronomy. We can't even talk about how Native Americans like really lived on this land without all of these things that we need to do, and that is how they survived. I spent some time in Egypt last summer around this time on the continent, and I saw those pyramids and I was blown away, and that's when I knew Black and brown people are from the future. So like we're not trying to like learn something new. We're trying to catch up to me. This is my woo-woo talk. We're trying to catch up to the innate knowledge that we already had in all of those cultures, every single culture on this stage. Like that is why I'm like so hyped this morning. It's not just because I just woke up, but I'm like hyped because all of these cultures, like these are the cultures that set the foundation for everything that's going to exist in the future. So you already have it. I just want you to rediscover it and don't think that you don't have enough of it. You do. You just got to rediscover it and then move it forward.
I love that. I think I have a new affirmation now. I'm from the future.
You are.
Which is thank you so much, Sage and Betsy, for sharing. Something that I also wanted to mention is that the theme of this year is the way forward. And I'm super excited for our next question, which is, as we look forward, what kind of legacy do each of you hope to leave behind through your work? And how can organizations continue to champion diversity, equity, and inclusion in the tech landscapes? Question for all.
So I'm really the culmination of my ancestors. That's why I'm on this stage today. And I just feel
that brings us to happiness so we can thrive, right? That is what I want. I want my legacy to be clearing that pathway for women and girls to thrive.
Wow. Thank you all very much for sharing. Now, to our next question. We have so many attendees who are students, and our next question will be to address a couple of issues that students are facing, especially now when they're job seeking. And the question is, with the current climate, what advice can you give job seekers, especially with big companies where you'd expect layoffs to be less likely to happen, just did massive layoffs? And right now, when you walk through the career fair, there are tons of lines. What can you say to them? Anyone can pick this.
I think for me, I've been in your position before. I've applied to over 500 different jobs. I've done the legwork of getting my resume reviewed by mentors. It is hard. What you're doing is hard. We do recognize that. And I want you all to know is to give yourself some grace.
Yeah.
Give yourself some kindness, because what you're doing is a challenging thing to do. And I want folks to not internalize that when you don't have the job, or you don't get the interview, if you don't get this and that. It is hard. It can be a numbers game sometimes, right? And it can be a chance of luck. But I think what you do is you need to create the environment where luck can happen for you, but also be a student mindset, right? Always learning.
Yeah.
Amazon, we have it: learn and be curious. Build that skill, utilize, and be strategic about your time. But my biggest skill that I want you all to have is to be an excellent storyteller. Really craft your narrative, really go down and create a document, go down your resume and write a narrative about yourself. I know it can sound kitschy, you might sound this before, but I swear storytelling is a powerful tool. Whether it's fundraising for your startup, whether it's nailing a job, whether it's convincing leaders to invest in DEI, storytelling is everything. And I think that's a skill that oftentimes is not looked at, especially if you're in a technical role sometimes, because you're thinking about the technical skill itself. So I really want folks to look at their resume, build that narrative, that story, and pitch. Get a group of others, right? And then actually pitch to each other, talk to each other, hone in on that message, because I think that's what's really gonna distinguish you out from other candidates.
That's a very good point, because when you mentioned that, I remember my early careers, what I was doing is just like pitching my own story. And something I would like to add to that is right now I see a lot of lines at the fair, and I think there are amazing talks out there. So I would highly recommend for anybody that's here, also spend that time knowing the speakers in those particular talks and then networking with them, because those are the people you'll work with. So definitely look into that. Anybody else want to add into this?
Yeah, I would just add, your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
And I think it's